My grandfather thinks this town is cursed. That all the bad things that happen in this town are because of one thing. I saw something. There was this...
The clown. Yeah, I saw him too.
Hey everybody, we're back again to do a new video, and today we're going to do a horror break. Now with this horror break, we're going to do something totally different, totally non-traditional when it comes to reviewing horror films. Today we saw a movie in theaters and it was it. It was a blast, it was fun, it really got me invested, it really brought me back into a different time. It was just a fantastic movie and I just loved it, Dylan. I mean, we have been waiting to see this movie. When it was coming out earlier on with the teaser trailer and every couple months back, we thought, hey, this looks cool, let's check it out, you know? But once we start hearing more and more positive reviews, more and more good vibes about it, we had to see it because it's it. And horror films that come in theaters these days are rare, and if they're good, it's rare too. So this was just a gem. This was the perfect horror film. Me and him, we never saw the original Stephen King's It with Tim Curry. We never saw that one from 1990. And this was a new treat, and it was special, and I loved it. I am so glad we didn't see the original. Wouldn't you agree, Dylan?
Yeah. With all due respect though,
Yeah.
I do think the original does have its moments.
Of course,
but
definitely.
This takes you to a new caliber.
It was just so good. Andy Muschietti, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, but sir, you made this movie amazing. It was fun. It was adventurous. I felt like a kid in the 80s. It felt like I was watching a movie in the 80s. Like the setting, the mise-en-scène, like the setting of this small town in Maine. It was just perfect and fun. It was just amazing. I loved the cars, the clothes, the music. I mean, they have a freaking, cassette player in the movie. It's just awesome. And you see Batman playing
kind
the
of
theater.
ironic, right?
You're right. You see Batman playing the theater in Nightmare on Elm Street. It's all irony, but it's just so much fun. And I just love the setting. I love the kids. Richie.
Oh my God.
If you guys watch Stranger Things like I do, Dylan hasn't, but there's the main character from Stranger Things, and that kid plays Richie. And Richie in this one, he is just fucking funny. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He was perfect.
He starts saying in the sewer scene, you know, it's gray water. Yeah, it's like obviously piss and shit. And he's like, oh, it's just not the caca, senor.
He is just perfect. He just has the funniest one-liners. She has a bigger list than my dong or whatever when he says that. That was just hilarious. I mean, there's so many one-liners in this film. Like, it is comedic. The kids were professionally well executed. Ensemble cast, they were professional. They didn't feel like they were acting. They just felt like they were actually they actually fit along with the story.
Yeah.
I didn't think of these kids as actors. I felt like they were actually real kids.
Yeah.
You cared about them. You wanted them to, be together and to, just, make it through whatever obstacles they're going through. The kids in this film, there's a lot of situations where they're going through some things like bullying or, religion or being called a slut. A lot of these kids go through different obstacles and tragedies. We're not going to give those away, but it ties all these outsiders, all these losers, all so well and neatly into the story. And that's why I love that they all connect. Despite their differences, they connect. And I feel like I was watching Stand By Me and the Goonies.
Yeah, with a horror twist.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's a perfect blender,
Right.
of nostalgia.
Definitely. And the Losers Club, it has a purpose. Wouldn't you agree, the Losers Club?
Yeah, the Losers Club, I think, are just a combination of, the kids from Stand By Me,
Yeah.
the Goonies. Like I said, put it into a blender, and,
Yeah.
and it's perfect.
It is just so professional, well done. It's shot well, it's edited well, and it's just a blast. I mean, you see the bully with the fucking mullets from the 80s. It was just, it's funny. It's funny how they dress and how they look, but it's also a treat. It is just a grand movie, it's a cinematic experience. That's what I have to say. Not just in the horror genre, but I think in general. I think it's hard to find a good movie now that's horror. And this, I did not think of Tim Curry, no disrespect. I did not think of Stephen King necessarily, even though this is his, but I felt this was a whole new manifestation. And Bill,
Build up.
it had so much build up. It had everything, and the new Pennywise. I mean, he was just amazing. Bill Skarsgård. I forgot his last name, but he was just this new manifestation. He was just this evil person. This Pennywise was just a whole new deal, a whole new dimension, and he was just this historical monster, this creature who plays on fears, and he really manipulates these kids psychologically, you know?
Yeah, and basically he does, well, he eats children. If you haven't read the book or seen the old film, he pretty much loves to feed on children.
Yeah, Skarsgård's his name. He was just fantastic. He was just this creepy essence, and especially when the iconic scene shows up, the way he talks, I mean...
Yeah, like, where you going?
Mm-hmm.
You seem like a nice boy.
Yeah.
I bet you have a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just the way he talks, and I have to say, the eyes, the face,
Yeah,
the hair.
everything. Skarsgård was just this disturbing element, this disturbing force, and we're not going to spoil it, but these kids, through different sequences, even though some scenes are in the same timeline of situations going on, they find new information about Pennywise. You see it through historical documents and facts and documentations and books, and it's just so well done. And I cannot wait to see what more we see of him. I can't wait to see it past. I want to see more backstory, I think, to Pennywise.
Yeah.
And how it all connects. Some people say, oh, that ruins the whole purpose, but I think Skarsgård's the clown, his was just beautiful. It was fantastic. It was scary. I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
He scared the shit out of me.
He disturbed the fuck out of
Right.
me. And the fucking scene, what he did to Georgie, holy shit.
That's a spoiler in itself, but it's ballsy to do that. We're not going to mention what, but if you've seen it, you know what we're talking about. It's ballsy, it's a risk, and I think that, you know, Muschiani, the director, did something new, something controversial, because anything involving children these days in a horror film is controversial. Some films just, you know, do a cutaway or a cheap cliche. Oh, he disappeared, where's Georgie? Fuck that. He just takes a risk creatively, professionally, and he just does it. And that's what I like. I like something new. I like risks. I don't like politically correct bullshit of how a story should go with kids in horror films. You have to have a risk. You have to take a shot at it.
Yeah.
And I think it was just fantastic. I mean, it's a perfect movie. I mean, we're just excited because we needed to see this movie, and we did. And it has everything in it. Great camera work, mise en scène with the 80s, and, you know, the pop culture and the music. There's one scene.
What was that?
When she turns the door.
Oh.
New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, the poster.
Yeah.
That
It was
great.
just funny. New Kids on the Block's reference that she closes the door. It was just perfect. Like, it's just funny. Like, I mean, the kids are perfect. Pennywise is perfect. You know, Bill Skarsgård, Skarsgård was just amazing. It was just a fun movie, and, you know, I really loved it, and I have to buy this movie. Like, this movie is a buy. Everything about it was just amazing. I really do love the movie, and I can't wait for chapter 2. I think there's a lot more to say. And also, Stranger Things, and this felt like also kind of like a Stranger Things kind of vibe too, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with the main character being part of this universe of it. I thought it just worked fine together, but just a fine film overall, and just really well done. And I felt for these kids.
Yeah.
I felt for these kids really badly, and I felt bad and sorry, and it was just pissed off at certain things. We're not gonna spoil it, but there's a certain type of
there was let me just say, like, there's a lot of fucked up shit
that these kids go through.
Yeah.
But I think that's what, you know, Muschiani wanted to do with King's approval. He wanted to take those risks and actually show a social commentary of how these kids are, because I can relate to these kids. I remember being picked on growing up. I remember being bullied, not feeling like I belong anywhere. And these kids connected to me, you know, and it was just a big transition. 80s kids versus 50s kids in, you know, the 1990 film. But
yeah, I felt the same way too.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the fact of being bullied,
right,
and just having, oh man,
just go through so much shit, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to live. How do you live through that? And the bullies, holy shit.
These bullies are fucking psychopaths. They're not even bullies. They're just psychopaths, sociopaths. You know,
yeah.
they're just mentally ill kids, and they have their own demons too, but it's satisfying to see what happens to them because they're just fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
You just fucking hate it, and I think it resonates with the viewers. That's why I like to. It's not just a cliche movie or a remake, or what have you. It's actually new. It's not really a reboot. It's just something new, something special. I would see it a second time.
Yeah. I probably would, though, depending on the right mood set.
Right, you have to be in the mood. Like, we were in the mood now because of all the hype, you know, a week ago when this was coming out, to go see it. Everything was positive about it. Everything was just hyped about it. Everyone said good things, and the hype lives up. I loved it. Some people may not. Some people may complain, oh, the CGI with Pennywise and everything. But you know what? The CGI itself didn't bother me. I was focused on the story, what this new Pennywise could do. And when he comes out of the projector, oh, he's just this big Goliath monstrous fucking creature.
Yeah, and just those teeth. He's you know, it's like,
yeah,
you know, like, oh God, it gives you the shivers. No wonder people hate clowns.
I know, and you see why. He plays on your fears through objects, like such as images in a picture or painting, or through, you know, or through homeless people or dead people. He does all these different things. He's this manifestation, this essence. And I really want to see more Pennywise in terms of a backstory. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I actually did hear in chapter 2 it's going to explain more about the origin of Pennywise.
Yep.
What he is and how he came to be, etc. And I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's just...
I just want to say a couple things.
Go ahead.
One about, like, Pennywise. Like, I think, like, comparison to this Pennywise and the Pennywise of the 90s.
Right.
The Pennywise of the 90s did seem a little cartoonish and
Right.
hokey. Therefore, though, if you were a kid back then, I could see why you would be afraid.
Right.
But this Pennywise makes you shit like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, it's a metaphor. Like, I heard someone say, this movie will make you shit a brick.
And it lives up to that expectation and to that, you know, insightfulness when you go see a movie like this. And it's just great that, you know, this movie was done in its own right, in its own way. I never thought at all about, you know, Tim Curry or, you know, whatever with the 1990 film. But, you know, I just love this. I like this new universe, this whole new... This is it for the new generation, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm not disrespecting the classics. I never disrespect a classic film. I give it credit. But I never saw it. I was looking up where I could watch the original because it looks like it's hard to find in some instances. But you know what? I'm glad I never saw the original. And I saw this today because me and him loved it. And it is just fantastic. Everyone's talked about it. Everyone's raved about it on Facebook and YouTube and wherever else, and it lives up to the hype. So if you want to go see it, perfect day for a weekend. Go to the cinema, relax, get some drinks, and, you know, have a fun time, because this made me jump. I was jumping. The suspense was good. You had your moments when they go into the house, or they ride their bikes, or they find something, and there's a big jump. I thought it was subtle. It worked. It was creepy, suspenseful. It had its moments. Sometimes you may think it's too rushed. Some people may say, oh, it's too forced sometimes. But I think it's also, I don't have the problem with that. I think it's also a really well done film, you know. He pops up here and there, you don't see him too much. Some people may say, yeah, but it's still just jump scare, but I disagree. I think there is some jump scare factor, but I don't think it's just overdone. I think there's some moments of suspense, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and especially the basement scene.
Right.
Holy shit.
It's done right.
Yeah, the basement scene, the fucking bathroom scene, and I also want to talk about a little bit more about the kids, like
go ahead.
Like the red-haired girl,
right?
Beverly, Beverly, the little fat kid, Richie, Tyler, and all these kids, they were just my faves.
Yeah,
all of them together were like they were just like this perfect team, and I actually look forward to seeing them again in chapter 2.
Yeah,
and
me too.
See what they'll be like as adults.
Right, and well, yeah, I definitely agree with you. I love the kids. They were all an ensemble cast of characters. They really were a team. It was just a fun kid movie. It's like watching a kid adventure movie and a horror movie together, you know?
Yeah.
It was just fantastic. My only concern with part 2 is how they're going to do it, and if we're going to have these same people. I think they should take some time. I don't know how that would work, to be honest, because they're young kids. They're fairly young kids.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm a little worried about that, because this seemed like a perfect movie. and that's it. But I know there's a second chapter, as with the original. My main concern is just what they're gonna do, how these kids are gonna transition, and if I'm gonna see those same people I love, because I love those kids. But Dylan, are they too young?
I mean, well,
to like transition, because they're fairly young now.
Well, I would assume that they'll probably get a new cast of adults, actors, and an actress, because there's only one girl on the team. But anyway, just to see if they fit the part, that relates to like the kids back then, so. Yeah, like I think that's what they'll do. I mean, we may see some cameos of the old cast. Eventually, cross your fingers.
Because there was a fantastic cast.
Yeah, and I just want to say a quick thing, and that is, I just love the fact how certain kids of this group, they didn't know each other until they all met unexpectedly in an unexpected circumstance.
Exactly.
And then they all joined together.
And they united in this, blue-collar, middle-class town with this force that has been manifesting for decades and decades, and it was just perfect. So part 2, like I said, I don't know. I'm excited, but this cast was perfect, and maybe over time, depending on, what the director wants to do, I'm gonna have to probably just separate myself from those kids, but I just love those kids, like the way they unite and they're together. It was a fun movie. It was a great film, and I don't know about part 2, but I am excited, and I'll see what they do. I'll give them benefit of the doubt. People were worried about this, but it lived up to the hype. It was fantastic. It was great. It was just phenomenal. And I think we bitched enough about it like everyone else has online. So I think we're gonna cut this short. Go see it. Tell me what you think, if you've seen it. If not, go check it out. We haven't spoiled much at all, hardly anything. It's just us talking. So go see it, form your own opinion. Don't listen to critics online and this and that, because it's doing pretty well in the box office. Yeah,
critics, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
No, we go see movies for ourselves, such as a movie like this, like with It, and it was just fantastic, like I said. So really, I think it's one of the best films of the decade, and one of the best horror films to be released in theaters, and it's really something special, and don't miss out on it. So I think that executes our discussion, our review with Horror Break. So we hope you like this episode, and I'll leave it to you, sir.
Yes, and now just remember, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, and if you do, you'll float with us. Yep, that's right. You'll float too.
Yep.
Along with us.
Yes, sir.
For future films down the line. Videos down the line.
Yes. Well, we're going to try to get back into it more. I have my own stuff I want to do, but in the meantime, we'll do it when we can. So stick around, click the notifications button, the little bell, and you'll be notified and you'll keep in touch with us. So.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
All right.